Is it difficult for you to say sorry? Why?
Not really. I just don't see the point in apologizing for things that aren't actually wrong. If I make a mistake, I'll own it, but I don't use it as a social lubricant. To me, it feels more authentic to just be clear about where I stand.
Okay, then what is the difference between real and forced apology?
A real apology is about the other person. It's about acknowledging the hurt you caused and actually wanting to fix it. Forced ones usually feel like a script. They're more about ending the tension or just checking a box so everyone can move on. It's like saying sorry just to stop the argument, not because you actually feel bad.
Okay, then can sorry sometimes be said without meaning it?
Absolutely. It happens all the time. Sometimes it's just a reflex, like when you bump into someone in a crowded hallway. You're not actually mourning a moral failing. You're just following a social script to signal that you didn't mean it.
Okay, then does cultures affect how people apologize?
Big time. Some cultures treat an apology as a way to restore harmony to the group, regardless of who was actually wrong. Other places are more about individual accountability, where saying sorry is a huge admission of guilt. It totally changes the weight of the word.
Okay, then the meaning of origin of apology, where the sorry word came.
The word sorry actually comes from the Old English words sarig, meaning full of sorrow or pained. Started as an expression of genuine grief or pity rather than a request for forgiveness. It's wild how it shifted from I am feeling pain to I messed up.
Okay, then what does the word sorry really mean beyond language?
Beyond the words, I think it's really a signal of vulnerability. It's you admitting that you've caused a ripple in someone else's experience and you're choosing to prioritize their feelings over your own ego. At its core, it's an attempt to bridge a gap that opened up between two people.
Okay, then why do humans feel the need to apologize?
It's basically a survival mechanism. We're social creatures, and being cast out of the group was historically a death sentence. An apology is like a peace offering, it's a way to signal, I'm still part of the team, and I value this connection more than being right.
Okay, then what do you think early human psychotize did when someone made a mistake?
I imagine they were way more pragmatic about it. Back then, a mistake could actually be dangerous, like forgetting to keep the fire going or missing a track during a hunt. Sympathy probably looked less like I understand your feelings and more like,
Okay,
okay,
then
how do we
is
fix this so
apology
we don't.
more about language or emotion?
It's a mix, but I'd say the emotion is the engine and the language is just the steering wheel. The language part is just the social script we use to make the emotion legible to others. But without the actual feeling behind it, the words are just empty noise. Do you think the emotion is always necessary for an apology to work?
Yeah.
I agree. Without that spark of actual regret, it just feels like you're reading from a manual. It's the difference between someone actually caring and someone just wanting the problem to go away.
Of course.
Wait, the guys? What do you mean by that? Actually, I think I might have misheard you. You didn't say anything there. What were you thinking about?
Yeah, of course. Okay, then why is admitting mistakes important security?
Mm, because it's the only way to actually grow. If you never admit you're wrong, you're just stuck with a version of yourself that can't learn. Plus, it builds a massive amount of trust with other people when they see you're more interested in the truth than in protecting your image.
Okay, then can someone be
Get what?
truly sorry without saying anything?
Definitely. Actions usually speak louder anyway. A thoughtful gesture or just showing up for someone when they need you can say way more than 1,000 stories ever could.
How does responsibility connect to apology?
They're basically two sides of the same coin. An apology without taking responsibility is just a polite way of saying, I'm sorry you feel that way. True responsibility is the actual weight behind the word. It's owning the action and the consequence without making excuses.
Okay, then why do children learn to say sorry at the young age?
It's basically their first lesson in empathy. Parents are teaching them that their actions have a ripple effect on other people. It's less about the word itself and more about training them to notice when someone else is hurting and acknowledging that they played a part in it.
Okay, then cultural understanding of apologize.
Sorry, I'm not following. Could you say that again?
Uh, do all cultures value apologies in the same way?
Not at all. Some cultures prioritize the group's harmony over individual guilt. So, an apology is more about smoothing things over than admitting a specific fault. Others are much more literal about it, where an apology is seen as a formal admission of wrongdoing. It's a fascinating way to see how different societies define right and wrong.
Okay, then are apologize more formal in some societies than others?
Totally. In some places, it's almost like a legal transaction, very structured and specific. In others, a simple nod or change in tone is enough to signal that you're sorry. It really depends
Okay,
on
then do people
how much.
apologize more in public or private situations?
Depends on the stakes. People tend to be more performative in public, where the apology is often about managing their image. In private, it's usually where the actual messy emotional work happens.
Okay, then can silence sometimes be considered an apology?
In some cases, yeah. It's like that heavy contemplative silence after a fight where both people know exactly what happened. Sometimes a lack of work. I'm a bit lost. Where'd that come from?
Okay, then how do tradition influence apology behavior?
Traditions act like the blueprints for how we handle conflict. They set the expectations for what a correct apology looks like, whether that's a formal letter, a specific ritual, or even bringing a gift to smooth things over. It's basically a way of telling people this is the acceptable path back into the group.
Okay, are some cultures more forgiving than others?
It's hard to say definitively because forgiveness is such a personal thing. Some cultures emphasize collective harmony and moving past mistakes quickly to keep the group functioning. Others lean more into justice and individual accountability, where forgiveness is earned through a very specific process. It's less about who is nicer and more about what the society values most in that moment.
Okay, then how can culture misunderstandings happen with apologies?
They happen all the time because we're reading different scripts. One person might offer a harmony apology just to be polite, while the other person takes it as a full admission of guilt. Then you have the opposite, where
Then
someone is
the
waiting for
psychology
a form.
behind saying sorry.